And I guess we're live. So, hi, as Josh wipes his nose.
That's right.
Perfect. Oh, wait, I meant to say welcome to the KI6NAZ, a spooky spectacular
it's
for
the
Halloween.
Spooky time. The spooky time. I'm drinking blood.
I am drinking cup in color of blood. Is Coca-Cola blood. Is now new formula.
Coke
is
zero.
Bloody.
Zero Coke.
Zero
all
Coke.
Blood.
All blood.
That's right.
We did not plan that either.
No.
That's too funny. Well, welcome everybody for coming out. Yeah, that's my Papa Emeritus from Ghost impersonation, but it's not very good. But that's a good wholesome satanic band from Sweden that I always enjoy listening to. So I think I said hi to everybody in the chat, but if I missed you, hi. I think we got everybody.
Yep. I'm looking at the chat too. Looks like. Yep. Good.
Thomas B. Audio is doubling.
Well, wait till you get a couple more people saying that. Otherwise, tell Thomas to refresh his page.
Thomas, refresh your page. I don't know how that would happen because there's really no audio options on.
No.
Yeah. The Killer Spud. That's a very spooky name for Halloween.
It's a spooky
let's see. Dixie DX in the house. Maybe she's got her general since last week. Coded.
I just watched that video. Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah, that was fun. It was nice. Nice to take a little road trip.
You got some good contacts too. You got up to Alaska, and you got the aeronautical mobile. That was really cool. 30,000 feet. So that's a commercial pilot, right? Basically, I think.
Yeah, he was 31,000 feet. I think I couldn't hear what he said when we were listening, but as I was listening back to the recording, I think he said he was over Fargo. So that was a pretty decent contact. But yeah, 31,000 foot tower basically will get you out. But there was a lot of stuff. So I just wanted to put cat stuff in there. I didn't really want to show myself because everybody's seen me activate a million times.
Sure.
But the very first contact when I turned on the radio, I turned on 15 meters and I got LoRa IK4 GRO on, and he's in Italy. So I got him. That was pretty awesome on 15 meters.
Nice.
And I think there was probably, and I think there was a Hungary station that came back to me too. I think I worked Hungary as well, but I cut all that stuff out. So,
very good. What antenna were you running? Did you mention it in the video? No, you didn't. You just kind of went right into it, which is good. Yeah.
Did I?
I don't think you showed the
surely had to have. It was the PAC-10 NFED half wave. So I love my NFED half waves, and that's one of the only ones that I own that's rated for 100 watts. So yeah,
I'm waiting for mine. I officially
you
got
still
in
don't have
an
one?
order. I bought it, and I'm waiting for the order to come in.
I can't believe you don't have one already. Christiana, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Josh. Hi, Mike. Still alive and still there. That is awesome.
We're glad you're
there.
Recovery.
Glad you're feeling well.
Indeed.
Hopefully every day is exponentially better than the last. Jason says the audio is fine. David KJR, Papa Bless. Thank you. What, Evan? Wasn't that you? I feel someone posted something about Spirit Box on TikTok, and I feel that was you. I can't get down with Spirit Box. Liquid Metal has been forcing them down our throats, and
that's a band, I assume.
Yes, they're a Canadian metal band. They are they're not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. So whatever. But everyone else is saying it was good.
Did you ever get is it like Norwegian black metal or death metal? Were you ever into that? There's like a bug that's flying in front of the camera. I just got it too. I slapped it. Yeeted it.
I listen to all kinds of metal. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about this today because I was on Ham Radio Adventure Guys channel the other day talking about antennas, and somehow we got on metal, and someone asked in the chat like, what's my favorite metal band? And the answer honestly now is I don't know. I went through periods in life where I was, very, very early in life, I was like, Guns N' Roses is the only band in the world, and I freaking worship them, right? And then Metallica came in like a year later, and then, so I was more Metallica through like 8th grade in high school, and then I really found a love for Tool, and then it just blossomed from there. And it's unfortunate. Broadcast radio is an unfortunate thing these days, and it always has been, because it's you're really limited by the music that you're exposed to, because they play in Detroit, like Detroit Rock City, right where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, being Motown, Detroit Rock City, all that, it would have great radios. WRIF 101.1, the Riff, they call it, in Detroit, is the rock station. It is the most god-awful, horrendous piece of garbage radio you will ever hear in your life. They're stuck in the 80s.
Okay.
If you love Van Halen, no disrespect to Van Halen, but like Van Halen, AC/DC, Def Leppard, Judas Priest, Kid Rock, you'll hear a lot of Kid Rock because he's from Detroit. Who listens to Kid Rock? Nobody. And 80s hair bands that nobody wants to hear, like Journey and stuff. Of course, you're going to hear Don't Stop Believin' and Bob Seger, because he's a Detroit guy as well. Right. That's Michigan radio. It's horrible. So when I bought my car back in 2010, it came with Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And I discovered Channel 40 Liquid Metal. That is all I listen to when I'm in my car. So it's just, so I'm exposed to like all kinds of death metal and just all kinds of genres of metal that you would never hear outside of, you'll hear Metallica on the radio. Of course you will. And every now and again they play like an Iron Maiden song or something like that. But you wouldn't hear Slayer. You wouldn't hear Anthrax. You might hear like Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth. Like that's as far as they're going to get into metal. Quiet Riot, they would play Quiet Riot, yeah. But it's so yeah, Swedish metal. There's a band called The Haunted that's really awesome. They're from Sweden. I don't listen to a lot of them, but actually Ola Englund has a cool YouTube channel. There's all kinds of, I would say there's a lot of stuff from Sweden that's really good. But even bands like Cannibal Corpse. I just heard a Crowbar song today, and I don't know much about Crowbar, but that song was pretty cool. KJR, I'm sorry I failed to convert you to the cult of Spirit Box. Dude, it ain't you, man. Thank you for the super chat, though. It is Jose Mangan. I absolutely love him. He is the heavy metal ambassador. He is the head honcho over at Liquid Metal, and they've just been forcing Spirit Box down our throat. I'm like, oh, it's like every other song. It's like, dude, stop. So,
well, part of the reason
Amon Amarth, yes, Amon Amarth is awesome.
Part of the reason I asked about the what do they call it? Death metal, black metal in
There's all kinds.
Metal,
there's
right?
death metal. There's black metal. There's
Norwegian.
There's all kinds of stuff.
To keep it spooky, the Norwegian, I think it's black metal. They had a bunch of like murders all associated with these couple of bands, and it was a really interesting. I listened to this kind of deep dive on it. It was fascinating.
I can't remember the name of the band, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so you've heard it too. Then okay, I'm not completely.
Yeah, they're all the face makeup and stuff, and I just watched something about that the other day too.
It's on. The last time I listened to it was last podcast on the left. They talk about serial killers and stuff like that, and they did a whole. It was like a 3-part series on this whole event. It was really interesting, fascinating stuff. So
yeah. Death Clock is always awesome for sure.
Death Clock.
When I was in my late 20s, all of my friends, like on our birthdays, we would Facebook each other the Death Clock Happy Death Day song.
The Happy Birthday song is great. Mermaid murder. Mermaid or mermaid or mermaid.
Christiana says, when I was in my 20s, it was Led Zeppelin, Simon and Garfunkel, not Garfield. John Denver hated heavy metal. Yeah, rap can die, but yeah. And K4NYM, you are an old Aerosmith. I just can't get down with. Led Zeppelin. Metallica. Most of the songs I know how to play on my guitar are Metallica songs.
Sure,
I can play.
I feel
very
like
good portion of their collection.
There's always like a couple of artists and a couple of bands in every genre that do something that I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, I may not listen to it very often, but it's good. You know, so I can always find something I like. I just don't listen to that much music.
Oh, I'm always if I'm driving, the windows are down and the radio is blasted. So yeah,
I like
that's what I
Robert
do, so.
KE6NAZ has the idea. He says, I punish my teenage kids by tuning into AM polka in the car.
That's awesome. You should put on some Weird Al polka. Polka your eyes out.
Yeah, that was funny too. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Shane? Yeah, Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
These ones go up to 11.
Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it.
Don't touch this. We've looked at it too much. Classical station, I would die. Oh my god.
Oh, I do like we have a really good classical station. KUSC out
that.
here. Oh, so good.
So I'm 90 miles an hour down the road, right? Windows down, metal blasted. You can't do that with classical music. I can't. I mean, I suppose you could, but
it keeps you like
you pull up to the light with your lean on, you know. You got the Mozart blasting with the subs, you know. You got the booming
for the timpanis, for the heart, for the hit, because they don't got the bass drums, they got timpanis. Yeah, that's right. Ever seen Flight of the Valkyries or whatever it is, or not? What is it? I can't remember. But yeah, no, yeah.
Let's go with spaceballs. They got the timpanis and spaceballs.
That's right. Well, I mean, when you're doing like 90 and you're listening to classical music, it keeps you like less twitchy, right? You're very focused. You're very zen going down the road.
I mean, I'm chill. I got my lean on. I got the metal going and straight and narrow. Nothing like three tenors at 75 miles an hour at the windows down.
That's good. That's good. Oh, yeah. So Jeremy KE0TEV says he misses KNAC. Did you ever listen to KNAC?
No, I don't even know what that is.
That was
I'm from east of the Mississippi. Everything's a whiskey call sign.
Yeah, no, KNNC was a like a heavy metal station that was in California, but I think they were syndicated all over the place. They were really good.
No, I suppose they call it the Knack.
I don't remember. No.
I mean, you would have to. If it's broadcast radio, they would have to do something that's stupid.
Yeah, there you go. 105.5. Yep, WJ6F. There's a California call for you.
Taught his kids rhinestone cow. Pantera, got to give Pantera a huge shout out.
There you go. That's a car I like too. Do you ever see Panteras rolling down the road? You don't see them very often.
No, you don't. I think there's a reason for that. Them and Pintos, I think, probably just crashed into one another.
No, Panteras had a big old V8 in them.
Did they?
Yeah,
they were thinking of something else.
They show up at muscle car shows all the time. They're cool looking. I'll pull up a picture.
I don't think I mean, I'm sure growing up in Detroit, I've had to seen a Pantera because there's the Woodward Avenue Dream Cruise every year. I didn't get to go to every year, but that is a lot of fun. The whole weekend, everyone drives up and down Woodward, which is the main drag through Detroit, and then goes up into the suburbs. And it's just, I mean, classic. People come in from all over the world for the Woodward Dream Cruise. It's freaking amazing. But anyway.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Look at that car. Yes. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
That's a sweet looking car.
Let's embiggen you. Hang on. I can do this.
Enhance.
That kind of, that's pretty neat.
Sweet looking car, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I had a Hot Wheels of that when I was a kid.
Probably. Yeah, there were lots of kids. Mid-engine car. It was really cool. Okay. Not many of them, though. You don't see them very often.
Sterling says, I was listening to Samuel Hazo's symphonic concert band pieces last week on max volume, and I swear I could have been ticketed for DUI and disturbing the piece. Yeah, that would disturb my piece.
Stop being, because I mean, how do you take something that's supposed to instill Zen and then crank that up all the way to the just completely shaking the windows?
I don't know.
Now everybody's dropping hot classical music drops right now.
I have been to, so like in probably like elementary or middle school. I feel probably elementary school. I actually went to a symphony orchestra as like a field trip, and it's like when you hear all of those instruments in a very acoustically tuned building. I mean, it's you feel it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's
It
why
is
when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I had two 12-inch subs in my trunk with 1,000-watt amp because
Okay.
I wanted to feel that. Like, subs and metal are awesome. Like, everyone thinks it's just for rap, and you hear the idiots. No,
Yeah.
you hear that kick drum with some good subwoofers. Now, I'm not talking just cheap subwoofers. I'm talking.
You're not
like,
talking Rockford Fosgate bazooka tube, my friend.
I wanted Kicker solo barracks, but I ended up getting MTX. I think they were MTX Thunder 7000s, and I had a Kicker ZX 360 amp, so it was like 1,000-watt amp or something like that. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it pounded. It didn't pound quite as hard as the solo barracks, but yeah, today 1,000-watt amp means something else. It sure does.
Yeah, it does. And they're more expensive than the stuff you would buy at whatever.
Yeah, boy, are they ever. Boy, are they ever. Yeah, we had, what was it called? I can't even remember the place where I got it. Anyway, Metallica with the San Francisco Orchestra is cool, yes. So, anyway, so what's going on ham radio related?
Oh, man, I've got like so many ongoing projects that I just can't like get off the ground. Well, they're all like, video, half-made videos. But I fell down that LoRa hole. I mean, this isn't ham radio, but LoRa's, that 915 megahertz Internet of Things, little
your
mesh nodes.
Your thumbnail keeps popping up on my suggested thing, and I haven't watched that one yet. But you have two of them out on that, right? Don't you?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I was pretty impressed by it, and this is all like off-grid type of stuff, right? Because you could take these little guys and you could hide it somewhere, or give it to somebody.
Oh, that's bigger than it looked like in the picture. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's got a 3D printed case on it now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You'd put it, and I just bought these are upgraded antennas. People were asking me, hey, what? Because this is the stock.
Those look like router antennas.
They kind of, the 915 megahertz. Yeah. So that's the stock in comparison. So beefier antenna. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There you can do a lot with them. I mean, a lot if you want to geek out, right? Get all into the software side of things. But I got a new radio that I gotta do some work on really quick before I send it back. That FTM 6000. You can see it on my pile of junk. It's right over there. It's hidden a little bit. It's obfuscated.
Produce here.
Oh, there I am. Right there. Up there. See it is right there. If I move this. Hello.
What is that?
That's that new Yaesu, that dual band Yaesu. It's
Okay, yeah.
So you remember the the FTM 100, right? It was a beloved, just simple-ish dual band analog radio. You remember that?
No.
It was the radio that a lot of people used with their
maybe I do.
HRI or HCI 200, which is the Yaesu System Fusion little box. It got discontinued, and
that might be before my ham radio career.
It might have been.
I was licensed
I don't
in
know.
16.
Oh no, yeah. This went out of production in like 18, late 18.
Okay.
Anyway, a lot of people bought them because they worked really well for doing YSF, Wires X, Yaesu System Fusion, all that stuff. And they don't have another radio on the market that kind of fits back into that role. That's what this radio does, 100%. Okay. That's why it's got a digital port on the back. It's made to interface with those HCI 200s. And so I'm going to talk about that on a video. It's in a world where your closest Japanese analog radio is the ICOM IC 2730, this is just the Yaesu option. But they have some interesting differences that I'm going to talk about.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm wondering who's going to be getting. I was talking to Radioddity, and there is one loaner of that 6100 that's going around, and they said 2 people are getting them. I suspect one would be you.
Maybe.
I suspect the other might be Jason. But they're like, if we need any more people to review it, we'll send you. Because they sent me like an influencers discount thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks, I appreciate the offer. I don't really need another radio right now, and I don't make a lot of money like I used to right now. I mean, it was a good price, but And I would have bought it if I was making the money I used to make. But
I
really
really
just want to play with it.
I mean, yeah, me too. I'm really interested to see where they kind of go with it, because if you had did you have the 5105? You do, right?
Still do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see kind of the lineage from the 5105 and then the G90 being more stable, right? The G90 feels like a more stable radio. The X5105, like I overheated that thing on multiple SOTA activations.
Really?
Yeah. It's not the most stable radio, but it had a big battery. That was the always thing we talked about. The battery lasted forever. So I want to see them take the G90 stability with the X5105 form factor, and then obviously they kind of have to try and gun for the 705 somehow. So it's got the bigger screen. There's a lot of interesting things going on with it. So I'm gonna when I get my hands on one, I'm interested to kind of check it out from those angles.
Yeah. Don's saying Eric is the other person, which
does
that makes
Don
sense.
have proof of that, or is he just?
I don't know. Maybe he's talking to Eric. Who knows?
Okay,
we could call Eric. Wonder how many fireballs he's had.
Yeah,
we should totally.
We don't have enough fireball to have him on the stream right now. I don't know. We have to SSTV him some fireball.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, that would make sense if he gets one though. But yeah, they're sending me that. They came out with a new backpack that's like waterproof, and it's like $45. Thomas Witherspoon did a review on it. He did a write-up article. I don't think he did a video. Maybe he did. I haven't seen it, but
he's a good guy. I like.
I really like the stuff he's putting out. It's just like it's unedited, and they're long, and they're like not usually the things that I would watch because I don't have that attention span. But like, he has this. What's the right word? Is it camber in his voice? Timber. Yeah. And just that Southern accent, and there's not dead air. It's just he's always talking. He's always, and it's a hands show. It's like Eric before he started showing his face. It's just here's my hands. I think I've seen his face once or twice on the videos, and it's just he goes.
It's got a very Mr. Carlson's Lab feel to it, but it's obviously very different. But that's also a channel that I can just put a video on and just kind of let it play in the background when I'm doing stuff. Because also you feel like you're not going to miss a lot. Like I know kind of what he's doing. I know what he's going about. I like his interesting quips. So I'll often have like an AirPod in. I'll be tooling around doing whatever, listening. Because often, you're listening for his commentary on what's going on. Yeah, he's doing really good stuff. I love that people are finding cool little. They're bringing their voice to their videos, and he's a prime example of that.
Yeah. I stole the. I used to wrap my wires. I would make the heavy metal horns, and I would wrap them around. And I'm like, God, this sucks. And he's like, well, do this, dummy.
Loose.
So hang loose. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so much easier. So I mentioned him in one of my videos. I think it was the 1010s, and I was showing how to wrap this. I was like, I learned this from Thomas Witherspoon. Go check him out. But yeah, he's a good guy. He and I were just someone, Bill KN4, someone was razzing me on Twitter because Thomas was talking about because Elecraft and that little antenna that Elecraft makes, and Bill was like, don't tell K at MRD you're getting one of those 1899T antennas. Because I was expressing my hate for that antenna the other night on
I got a hot take on that. I'm gonna grab my reload here, and I'll be right back.
So he was going, yeah, there it is, K4NYM. Yeah, there you are. Did I get your call right off memory? I don't think I did. I think I butchered it. But
was Thomas doing a live stream where he was talking about the AX1, or that was a video? Because what was
well, he's used it on a couple of videos, but this was just on I can't find it now.
So as much as I'm in the same camp as you, that the 1899 and the derivatives they're fidgety, they're tough to operate with, they're not very effective, they're extremely compromised, but they're super portable, right? That's why people buy them. They fall into the trap is the wrong word. I hope people realize what they're getting. I don't think anybody expects that an antenna that packs down this big and says it works 40 meters probably not the most effective antenna, but the AX1 performs better than the 1899. Straight up, it is a better antenna. Maybe it's because with the KX2, it's literally built to, you assemble it, you switch the switch to whatever band you're operating on, you string out the counterpoise, it's attached directly to the radio, the KX2, and then you tune it, and then that's it. Now, here's my live comment on this. It was one of the DX contests. I was in a hotel room in Prescott, Arizona, going to see the Fieldcraft guys, and I had the AX1 set up. It was on 20 meters on my KX2, so I had all 10 watts pumping out of this bad boy. And I heard a Japanese station that I could copy on the radio in the hotel room. So I had the antenna set up on the windowsill.
You made a video about that, didn't you?
It was on my trip. I kind of did a little vlog style video. I made a contact with them on that thing. Now, I don't know if they were using a WebSDR. They could have been using a local WebSDR and heard me on that. But regardless, they heard me. And I made a contact with them on that antenna, 10 watts. So that's way better than I have ever achieved with an 1899, right? Is that what it is? 1899?
Yeah. So I went hiking the other day with another ham, and he was he brought his X5105, and I saw the loaded part, the tap part of the 1899T. He had the X5105 in a little Pelican case. Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't say anything until we got there. I'm like, you're using the 1899T. He's like, oh, I make contacts with this all the time. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So he didn't. So he just had the X5105 with the 1899T, no counterpoise. He let the tuner do the hefting, and he got CW key out, and he's keying. He got a few contacts on CW.
Well, he's doing Morse code, so that helps.
Hang on, though. He only got 3 on CW, and we're spotting. Then he got on sideband, and he's making contacts with the frickin'.
Hold it up so people know.
We'll show the kids. This is the 1899T. It's a terrible antenna. This telescopes, and it's got these little taps here. But it's garbage, and it's like, I don't know, $80 or $90. This is one of the first antenna I bought. This is one of the first antennas I bought. And I just wanted it to work. I'm like, oh, it's multi-band and it's so small and compact. And 4 years later, I still have it. I can't bring myself to get rid of it. So Jerry had it just like this.
Yeah, he just walkie-talkied it. Hilarious.
Just with no microphone. He's PTTing it because there's the X5105 got a PTT button right here.
Yep.
And he's making contacts to like Ohio, Pennsylvania. I think he got a California on 20. I feel
was that the lowest?
Doesn't matter. I don't know if he was on 40. 40. I don't think 40 was doing much.
But 20 was the lowest that you went.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. But still, no counterpoise. I was amazed. I mean, it took him probably 20 minutes to get the park activated because 5 watts through this antenna. The tuner's doing all the heavy lifting, so you're probably only getting like 1 watt out, I would imagine.
Maybe
this whole thing is just a loading
wire.
coil. It's all wire spun inside of this to make it electrically longer, right?
Yep.
So, don't waste your money on this antenna. Just don't.
I do like Adam's comment, though. It says it just goes to show what's possible with really low power when the conditions are right.
It does. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And it's a question of like, if you've got like money to blow and you want something that's kind of fiddly and you kind of have to play around. Hey, Satan's in the house.
Christiana's asking for him. Could you at least pretend to be interested, Satan? Does not care. Sorry.
No. I love to see Satan. They're fun to mess around with. The 1899, and I have the diamond version of that, which they call the toy box. By the way, Diamond. Did you see in Huntsville that Diamond has now a 160 coil for the toy box antenna? Did you see it?
Wow.
It's
Why?
crazy. It's crazy.
Why?
Or maybe it was just 80. Regardless, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I did do kind of an experimentation where I had my chalk winder radial.
Yeah.
I used my chalk winder and an antenna analyzer, and I put the antenna on a tripod, and I just kind of went through a series of tuning with it.
This is the 1899
and the diamond. I did both of them because I kind of wanted to
Okay.
see which one would perform better if you gave them
Yeah.
optimal radials, elevated radial, on the ground radial. Just went through kind of the whole thing. I found the
Yeah.
diamond performed. I could get the SWR lower, but again, that's not everything. I appreciate that.
Mm-mm.
But you could always kind of find the dip. It's just a matter of like how much work you put into it. It's actually not easy unless you wanted to have like multiple cut radials and you just went into the field and said, I'm doing 20, here's my 20 radial, click and drag it out and do it. You know
See,
what
I've
I mean?
not had that problem with I don't have a problem tuning this antenna at all.
Oh, I always go with the like precision radial. I always try and match the radial.
No, I've got 3 they're probably 15 or 17 foot radials that I connect. They're of 26 gauge wire that I put all 3 of them into one power pole.
Nice.
And then I made it. You've seen this bracket
with the one clip. Yeah, with the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that 3 foot or 3 counterpoise thing on 40 and 20 anyway, because that's the only bands that were kind of available when I was for most of my ham career. Now the Sun's deciding to do things in 15 and 17 and all that are opening up. But yeah, tuning this isn't really an issue. I mean, you might have to adjust the top, shorten it or lengthen it.
Yeah.
And what really gets me is I don't understand why they wouldn't just make these taps to where this whip was just fully extended. Now I understand that
because of the band
and you might want to be lower or higher, but
oh yeah, Comet makes it, not Diamond. Thank you for the correction there.
Yeah.
Who is it? Scott? Thank you.
But
so I mean, I will comment. Our 15-meter contact we made was probably the best contact we've ever made on single sideband, I think.
Yeah.
That was really good.
You were loud and clear.
But you were 10 watts and you sounded like just as clear on my end. It was great. The 15 was great. When the CQ Worldwide kicked off, I just pointed my beam to the west and it was just nonstop contacts. It was wall-to-wall activity. It was wonderful, and it was really cool. And I was putting out about 600 watts, but still, it was really, you could hear them no problem.
Yeah, we were hearing it at the Support Your Parks weekend. Shane had 17 meters on, and we're hearing. We were hearing there was something. There were stations in Brazil calling stations specifically in Germany. So there must have been some kind of German thing going on or something, but we heard them both on 17 meters. And it was like, I've not heard 17 open very often. And 15 has been open quite a bit.
Yep.
And I've been on there just because my antenna is resonant on 15 and not on 17. But I heard South Africa on 15. I couldn't work. He was like, he wasn't even moving the meter, but the noise floor is so low in the park where I go, it's, you can hear just about anything, but that was pretty exciting. It made a couple 10-meter contacts not too long ago. It's pretty. This weekend I think is going to be dead. There's that big solar flare coming at us.
Yeah,
Tamitha wipe out HF. Yeah. So
that's right. Well, we got a question, Mike, and I know it's questions on antennas that you love. Somebody asked, "What's a good apartment antenna?" Antenna.
So I don't know from personal experience, but if you watch Paul OM0 Echo Tango, Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango, he's in where is he? In Czech or Slovakia or something like that.
Oh,
he did this great it was like a 2-hour build video of the M0 HF radio, like the actual like British, not the Chinese knockoff, like the RS918.
Yeah.
He did the actual like English version of that. He did a nice build of that, so I watched that, and then he was using that radio, and I would show you that radio, but I lent it to Kat when I was out there in hopes that she will get an HF radio to help her because she's got an HF antenna.
Why would you give Cat your junk? I just don't. That's horrible.
No,
I'm kidding.
it's
I'm
not
kidding.
junk.
I'm kidding.
Dennis,
I'm kidding.
86DM gave me that radio, and I like that radio a lot.
I'm kidding.
But I could spare a radio to hopefully encourage some. I want it back. It ain't hers. Slovakia, yeah. Pascal, thank you. So watch anyway. Getting off topic. Yep. So he has that radio, and he's in an apartment, and he's using a mag loop with, I don't know, 5-10 watts. I mean, nothing inside his apartment, and he's making just, I forget, he made some DX contact that just blew me away. It might have been in the States, or I forget where it was, but it was far. And I don't have experience with mag loops, but they're very, very small.
Yes.
And that would probably be the best thing that I would imagine for an apartment.
Yeah, I always ask, my follow-up question when somebody says apartment antennas, I ask, do you have access to a balcony or like a tree that you can shoot a line into and something like that? Like if that's the case, then you can explore all kinds of, you can have a vertical that's off at like an angle that gets out over the balcony. I like the mag loops because they also work for hotel portable, which I've definitely done with the Chameleon mag loops. But you know, you're getting they're not very efficient, particularly as you go to the lower bands. They cease to, you don't get much power out of them. But if you keep it 20 and under, you generally do okay. But, you know, a lot of times when you're in an apartment and it starts getting late, you want to hop on the radio, and it's like, 40 is not going to be that great on a mag loop. It's kind of tough.
Okay.
Doorman Dave K04 HMB. I've done that too, where you string up along the walls. You string a dipole. I've definitely done that. Not the greatest performing antenna, but you can.
I mean, anything you do in that situation is going to be. Every antenna in the world is a compromise, and whatever antenna you can use is the best antenna in the world. So, I mean, try it. When I first moved down to Texas, I was in this hotel for like 6 weeks, and I took my Pactenna and I strung it all the way around the ceiling just to see what would happen. It was like 67 or 65 feet, whatever it is.
Right.
Couldn't hear anything because I'm like in the middle of the like the third floor of like a 6-story building.
And it's all concrete and rebar.
Oh yeah, there's no RF is getting into that place.
Right.
I got on the repeaters. I had my roll up J pole like right in the window so I could hit a repeater. That was about it. Oh shoot, I did say Texas. Everyone drink. First, I'm drinking Coke. So,
cheers, everybody.
Yes, still not drinking beer because I quit smoking. And
good for
alcohol.
You,
alcohol makes you want to smoke, so I'm abstaining. I'm not doing any drugs. I'm not doing any alcohol, and I'm not smoking. I feel like I'm straight edge right now. It's really weird.
Show me your hand. Show me your hand. Show me your hands.
If I start going
black X's, where are your black X's?
If I start going to church. Someone please come down here and save me.
No, I mean the black. I want to see your black X's. You got to get the big marker on the back of your hands.
No, I think Julian has those tattooed. I think he's straight edge.
Julian
OH8STN.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen like tattoos. I think he says like straight edge, like tattooed on.
Oh, really? I respect it. I respect it. What was? I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about the J pole. I do the same thing. I pack the J pole and I like tape it in the window or hang it off the curtain rod, because that's generally the only thing you can do in a hotel. Really, you can't do low band stuff with it. It's usually difficult in a hotel.
I got on my Tar Heel a couple times.
Nice
to try just in the parking lot to try and probably work someone on a live stream or in the Discord or something. But that was about it. Other than I was probably I was in Texas for maybe 2 days before I did my first POTA. I was like, all right, I'm here. Where's the park?
See, I can do the Texas game with you on the stream because you don't say it very often. It's Jason you got to watch out for. He drops that thing like it's going out of style.
He's from here, so
that's true.
I'm from all over the place.
I would like to remind people when they live in an apartment, as much as everybody wants to have a radio at home, that you may just need to consider having a nice little bag that's really easy to pick up and go. And it's got your radio and it's got a decent antenna in it. And you just play radio from the courtyard in your apartment building or in a park across the street or something like that. And that just may be the thing you do.
I'm not even in an apartment, and I don't really play radio at home because my noise floor is so incredibly terrible. So I haven't even put my 7300 still sitting in the box on the floor. I haven't hooked it back up since I got back from Alabama, and I didn't hook it back up after Support Your Parks because it's just don't have motivation to. It's like I hear like my ham alert's blowing up all day because Jason's in Costa Rica, and I'm like, I want to work them.
They've been hard
or
to
I'll
hit.
see like POTA spots, and I was listening for him today at POTA, and I couldn't hear him.
Mhm.
I heard another station, Costa Rica. It was TI5 Charlie Delta something.
Mhm.
He was coming in loud and clear from Costa Rica, but I could not hear. It was probably Chris from Buddy Pull, I suspect, because I saw Whiskey Echo 4 Delta X-ray stroke TI7 spotted down there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear him. He was like,
they got the hex beam up because the first contact I made with them was Matt. He's down there and they're running the CQ Worldwide.
Oh, that could have been Matt.
Matt
then, okay.
is. And so Matt was there getting everything set up before the contest. I made a contact with him. And then when the contest went live, I made another contact with him. He was my first contact I made. They're sounding good right now. I'm assuming because they got the hex beam in the air.
Yeah.
The buddy hex.
Yeah, that helps. What about a folding camp chair antenna, Josh? Unlucky.
Yeah. I got a new idea for a Willet antenna, and I just have to do it in a way that I'm not going to draw a lot of attention because it's going to be a more public setting when I do it. But I've thought about the camp chairs. My worry about the camp chairs is all the camp chairs are like painted now. Like they've got, powder coat paint on it, whatever. I don't know if that's
grinder out and.
No, I know, but like on the joints, like where they push a rivet through, like it may not make good electrical connection. So if you had two of them and you tried to make a dipole or whatever, those old beach chairs, the reason why I got the beach chairs from like the 90s is because they're all just like that aluminum that you just rivet a little ring connector on there and you just go to town.
Yeah. Sean, let's go with, how do we think we want to say that? ID?
It's all you, Mike. I'd
could be I'd.
I'd.
Thank you for the $4.99 super chat question. Used
it's
FTDX10. Ahide.
Ahide.
Sorry, Sean. Ahide could be. Used FTDX10 for $1,300 or new 7,300 for $1,000. Currently run the 7,100 in the shack. Is Yaesu a lot better for receive or incremental? I have strong opinions that go one way.
I know you do.
Question.
Yeah, you do. And we've seen it in video. If you caught that video.
What do you think, Josh?
It's a really hard question to answer. Because I differ from Mike a bit. I do like the FTDX10. I like that it is a hybrid SDR, so they put the roofing filters and the attenuators and some of the discrete components up front that you can still control. I like that. And those physical features don't exist in the 7300. You can say that the SDR software can mitigate that with its software-defined attenuators and filtering, but it's not quite the same. And I think I demonstrated on the video when I worked with the FTDX10. So that's the RF chain side. That's the receive side. What I don't like about the FTDX10 is the interface. I'm not a big fan of the Yaesu interface. If you like the FTDX10 interface or the FT101 and you've sat down and played with it and you like that and it's not a problem to you, great. You'll probably like that more. I do like the ICOM interfaces better.
Yeah, they're exponentially better. Now, to be fair, I only used the FTDX10 a little bit at Field Day, or at the Support Your Parks weekend over the summer.
Yeah, I know how that went.
Actually, that was the whole day, other than when I actually sat down because Shane was like, I made more contacts, and I was like, all right, buddy. Then I had to bring out my 7300, or someone's. I don't even know if it was mine. Someone's 7300. Just because I know how to, I own it. I've had it for a few years, and I know how to use that radio. The Yaesu's. And I was very on the fence between the 991A and the 7300 when I was making my HF, base station decision.
Okay.
And having owned 2 previous Yaesu HF radios before I bought the 7300. I had the 450, and then I had the 891. I like Yaesu radios, especially their HTs. I love their HTs.
100%.
I am not gentle with my equipment, and I am 9.9% portable operator. You can beat the crap out of Yaesu HTs. I am not gentle with my 891. I don't worry about them at all. They're not fragile. They're K8 MRD proof. Okay. I hate Yaesu's menus. It's not a big deal, though. It really isn't. I hardly ever touch the menus on my 891, but when I need to,
the deep F.
It's
the
like
deep F.
Right. It's like if I want to change the power, well, that's going to be menu 16-5. Right. It should be number 1. Like, what's the most common thing that an operator might want to
power.
do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Change the power. Let's put it at the end. Great.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in the boardroom when they were making those decisions.
Let's bury it.
But the other thing, and it's purely aesthetic. But I like sleek, sexy design. I've been in design half of my life. So I appreciate fluidity and attention to detail. And the Yaesu, just the Waterfall, it's kind of stuttery, you know? Like, it's not like you look at the 7300.
The FTDX10's Waterfall is nice. Are you talking about that? It's really good.
I'm talking about any of them. It's still not as nice as the ICOMs. To me, it's not.
Okay.
It looks like it's scanning it really, really fast, and
That's
see
adjustable though. I will give Yaesu
but
that.
I wasn't
they have a
playing
ton
with
of
it.
customization. They have a ton of customization on it.
It just
you
doesn't
can change
look
everything.
sexy to me. And I know that Don N5SKT loves his
so
his FTDX10.
I'll give it a nod. You like the movie Alien, right? Aliens particularly.
It's been a long time since I watched Alien fairly recently, but I haven't seen Aliens in a long
they've got
time.
those scanner where they hold it out and it goes boop boop boop, and it's got like it shows all the aliens coming at them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I edited the customization settings on the FTDX10 with that 3D waterfall to where it was like a black and white background, and the signals look like little things coming out of the waterfall coming at you. It was very Aliens, like Nostromo. It had that whole vibe to it, and it's on the video, the review I did. I love that. Everybody hates on that 3D waterfall. It's because they're using it wrong. But because they're using it wrong. They're using it wrong.
It just reminds me of it reminds me of taking technology backwards.
No, it
reminds me of Tron.
That's great.
That's terrible.
Awesome. No,
if it were 1982, that'd be great.
You got to adjust. You got to adjust the sensitivity so that it's like it's little pieces of grass. Like you want to see your noise floors, little pieces of grass. Yeah. So if you've got a high noise floor, you got to lower the reference because the screen reference is different from the RF noise floor. They're separate. So you just lower the field down to the floor. And then the 3D waterfall really pops when there's signals that come above the noise floor. It's really nice if you do it.
I'm sure it's effective. I just don't like that it's aesthetic. I just don't like the way it looks. So here's my official answer.
I agree.
Because they're both great radios.
They are.
I own many ICOM radios. Well, actually, I own 2 ICOM radios. I own 1, 2, 3, at least 3 Yaesu radios. Is that it? Probably. And I've owned, so they're both great. So here's my official answer. If you've got the $1,300 to buy the FTDX10, buy the FTDX10 first.
Oh.
If you don't like it, sell it for $1,100. Shoot, ask $1,300 for it and put it on the Zed because that's what everyone else does. Ask brand new prices for a used radio and see what you can get. Sell it, and then buy the 7,300.
I just had this conversation on the podcast that went live yesterday. Or no, it went live today. Take that back. Where somebody was saying, do I buy a FTM5? I'm sorry, FT5D handheld, or do I get the new 878 Mark II G Plus, whatever, the one that does APRS? And I made the impassioned argument of buy them both, figure out which one you really like, and then sell the other one. And you're probably not going to lose much money in the back end, because nothing is going to upset you more than thinking to yourself, whenever you hit a problem, which you're inevitably going to get stuck with something, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to like, how do I make this work on the FT5? And you go, I wonder if it would be easier on the Anytone. Well, you'd know, because you got to play around with it in your own time. Then you just got rid of the one you don't want. Ham radios don't lose their value quickly.
Not really.
So
no.
You got that.
I mean, I would take the FT5 over the Anytone.
That was my recommendation.
Any day of the week, but
I wanted to make the point of you have that option, and you should think about exploring it if you can. Those are my thoughts.
What is Don saying? Remember, no overload light, and Sean's was doing that to bin the ban. Is Tank typing for you, Don? My brain is hurting reading that. But no overload. So was it Kyle, or I think it was Kyle that was saying the front end on the ICOM 7300 is just terrible. He doesn't like it.
It might have get overloaded.
Yeah.
It
definitely does.
Overloaded.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
And I was overloading Shane at the Support Your Parks weekend, and I actually left it in the video. I said, "Am I causing QR on you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Good." On the HT. So yeah, I mean, you also have to understand that the Yaesu is what, 5 years newer radio.
Yeah, the 7300's what, 5 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
Hanging on pretty well.
And in technology, that's freaking ancient. So,
well,
granted, ham radio doesn't really keep up. I mean, ham radios are just now starting to embrace things like USB and HDMI. We've got rovers on Mars for the last 20 years that you've probably worked on.
No, I've never worked on a rover. I would love to work on a rover.
Well, Jose Padalon is in there, and he used to work for Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So
awesome!
JPL
boys in the house.
But where was I going with it? So yeah, we've got rovers on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is talking about colonizing Mars. Within our
first one
lifetime, he
we should be the first one that goes.
Yeah. And that baby's name. The baby can stay here, but that name can go. But we're finally putting USB charging things on radio, so we're behind the times.
What was it? 5 years. The 5 year mark. That's a really interesting point that I think people don't really consider. I made another argument about this a while ago, that it's not like a phone, right? Like iPhones come out every year and everybody runs out and buys a new iPhone or Android because there's billions of people that are buying them, right? They can do that kind of crap. Ham radio companies can't.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we just
Ray was talking about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was either Ray or John. I think it was John. I was talking to him with. I talked to John about this too, and I said, "Look, we're going through a chip shortage. We're entering into a world where you're finding these radio designs that were made years ago, or maybe just made recently. In the case of the ICOM ID52 and Yaesu's line of radios, why the FT5 is out is because components shortages happen, and they had to completely redesign them. That company didn't recoup the cost of their research and development in their first line. Those radios got to run multi-years before they pay back the whole cycle, right? So, it's important to consider that while we are a very vocal group of customers, we're not very big, and we don't buy a ton of radios every year. So
and what Ray was saying is that the like you said, the iPhone, they make one every year because there's, I mean, tens or hundreds of millions of them sold every year, where ham radios, you're 100,000 in its lifespan or something. So the R&D is there. That's got to coop years. It's also like for the chip manufacturers, they're not as high a priority as the iPhones and the the whatever the Android phones are.
They might not be buying leverage
and everything else.
Right. Their orders might not be leverage. They might not be buying at the quantities needed to reduce prices at some point.
Yeah.
Or to get production priority, that they get them first, kind of thing. So everybody, I want to remind you that we're in a niche hobby. We still are. We're a vocal hobby with a lot of really smart people, but we got to still support the companies we like. And I like to remind everybody that everybody's making good radios, and I bet you
Yes.
can go to any brand and you can find a radio that you'd like. A Linko.
Yes.
I point people to Linko all the time. A good value price radio that still does good stuff. Check them out. Check out all the radios. Make sure you're an educated buyer.
Still a huge UV4 fan. Love. People hate on him. Hayden
I know
just put
why
out
they
a
do.
video today.
Did he on Balfangs?
Yeah, he's like, why are they getting all these hate? And he's talking about me. I'm like, not me specifically, but like
Right.
I am an amateur radio operator specifically because the UV5R cost me $25. I bought one. I got my license. Now I'm an extra, and I have my VE credentials. You know, Don N5SKT, thank you for the $5 super chat. Love you, Mike. By the way, after watching you and Shane use your iPads, I broke down, so I do listen to you. Thank you. I hope to God you already downloaded Hammers on that.
So Don bought an iPad because of you. He bought a bunch of LoRa crap because of me. Like, Don, man. Sorry, Don. Sorry. We'll talk about it on the live stream tomorrow on the after chat.
Man, Jarrett was out today, POTA too, and I couldn't hear him. I was so bummed.
Yeah. Jared and I talked recently. We got a really good idea on the podcast that I had to reach out to Jarrett on. Like, is this possible? Is this even a thing we could do?
Nice.
Did you ever play Ingress on your phone?
Did I ever play Ingress on my phone?
There's a game
like
called
try and get
Ingress.
water inside of it? No.
No, it's
a
game. Well, you're familiar with Pokemon Go, I assume.
I know of its existence.
Okay, but you get the idea, right? You use your phone, you go to a physical location, and you catch Pokemon. Okay. Well, the engine that game is built on was originated in a game called Ingress, where you would try and control territories, where you physically had to go to the territory and fight people. Okay, that was like what the game was about. And so I was like, hey, Jarrett, what if we did a game that was a ham radio game where it was POTA based and you had to go to a park to fight for your territory? And he's like, okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. And I'm like, what if there was like okay, hear me out. What if there was like 3 factions, like different factions of ham radio? And, whatever, we'll just make something up, whatever. And then you were a part of that faction. And so if you went to a park as that faction and you did more contacts at that park as that faction, you would like control the park. And you would drop like an EXP generator that your character would then generate experience and level up faster, or you get more points or whatever. It's very blackboard, whiteboard discussion here. But I was like, would that like possibly be something that you could do or we could work on? And he's like, yeah, maybe. Because like, think about that. If you really want to like tap into the youth market, or the youth of whatever for ham radio, make it a game. It already is a game, but having an app that kind of tapped into hammers and did like experience and unlockables and all kinds of stuff, I was like, that could be really fun.
That's awesome. Well, I would dominate Huntsville. I already
What's that?
do, but I said I would dominate Huntsville as I already do, but
yeah,
I have the level 10 wizard warrior achievement unlocked there. I think I've done 34 activations there now.
Oh wow.
I got my kilo. Yes, I think I have like 6 more to get whatever double secret probation repeat offender thing. I have no idea what the awards are. I just go
repeat offender.
There's a repeat offender award.
Is there really?
I did. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
That's like one of the only ones that I care about just because I love the name.
Oh yeah.
So once you do 20 successful activations at the same park, you get I think it's like the Oasis repeat offender award, and then I think like every other 20. So once you get to 40 and 60 or whatever it is, I have no idea, but there's like a higher level of repeat offender.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, there's like 800 million different awards you can earn in Parks on the Air. It's crazy. So, but speaking of Parks on the Air, what did I do today?
Yes, tell everyone.
So, Ham Solo, he's in the chat, Mike, and I did 3 activations today. I'll have a video edited hopefully in the next few days. I might have it ready for Monday Night Ham Radio, but probably not. Maybe Tuesday for the Hams Lead the Way. I don't know. So apparently, and I did not know this until was it yesterday that we spoke, Mike? I feel there is a summit in East
Did
Texas.
you use quotes? Did you use air quotes when you said that?
There is. I mean, this is legit on the Summits on the Air website. It has a designator. It's Whiskey 5 Tango stroke something. No Hotel Tango. I have no idea. The designators are way too long in SOTA to begin. So that's
with like, dashes and slashes. There's
like,
a slash
are you
and a dash.
kidding me? Really?
Yeah.
Just give it a freaking number. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Whiskey 5 is in 5 land, and then T for Texas, I think. There it is, November Tango. Okay, so Whiskey 5 Tango. NT is like maybe North Texas because it's in the North. They put it in the North Texas thing on the map, which is not North Texas. It is. If you take like 5 more steps east, you're in Louisiana. Okay. I mean, it is East Texas. It was a little over 100-mile drive for me. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get there at K and MRD speeds with the classic music,
which is Holland
with the Beethoven blasting through the stereo, right?
Right.
So there's somebody had to have duped the Summits on the Air people into putting this on the map.
Okay.
It's 604 feet. Mike had the SOTA app where like when you're within the AZ. That's what we in SOTA call the activation zone.
Is this North Texas?
It's in North Texas.
Okay.
Like when you're searching, it's not North Texas. It's almost due east of me, and I'm 70 miles north of Houston. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm South Texas. I have no idea where I am.
I'm trying to find it right now.
But it's for it. I mean, you got to go east.
Oh, NT039?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I'll pull it up right now.
Here, pull it up, and I'll
hold on.
Here.
Let me get the
next there. We drive out there,
and there is
HP stands for High Point. I had to Google that.
Okay, here we go. So this is W5T NT dash or whatever 039.
Yeah.
How many times has it been activated? 14 activations, so not activated a lot.
But look at when the last times they were activated, like 2018, I think.
Yeah, 2018.
K0 Mike just did an activation.
He posted his logs.
Yeah. He just did an activation like a week ago. But on his video, some guys were crying. They're like, you had your radio on your car, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't count. I would have just said, screw you. But he wanted to go back and do another activation to make it official. So that's where we went. So
there it is. Right there. There she is. There she be.
That? Yeah. Can you get a satellite view of that?
Let's see.
Well, there's some topography you can see there. Like, those are hills at best. Okay?
Yes.
So we just drove up. I mean, it's a dirt road. I never filmed drive videos at all. This one I did. Once I got there, I'm like, okay, we're going up.
Drive videos or dry videos? What'd you say?
Driving.
Oh,
drive. Like videos where people are like driving to the park and stuff. Like I never, I hate that. It's like, really, nobody wants to see you driving, but I did.
Well, fine, Mike. I'll never do that again.
Don't ever do it.
All right. Yeah, hold on. Let me flip the satellite. Here you go. Enhance. Oh yeah.
So if you enhance more, like you're like, okay, where's the mountain? Like that's all farmland right there,
look
right?
Like a mountain.
Those are like cornfields, right?
There's like a dude. I can see a dude. He lives in this house that's right. Oh no, there's towers. I see some towers.
Yeah, so those towers right there, that is the actual summit. Now we were a little bit south. There's actually a cemetery where we were. So we activated the cemetery, which adds 6 dB. But that tower right there is the actual summit. How, I have no idea.
Yeah, Adam's in the chat. Serious mountaineering. Yeah, I hope you had your harness on, Mike.
Yeah, we definitely had some crampons there. It was tough. Now, to be fair, we had to driving in there. Those roads they're dirt roads, but they're more like beach sand.
Treacherous.
So
treacherous.
It was kind of like driving on the beach. So it was a little bit of a I won't say struggle, and it rained recently, so a little bit of it was washed out. Okay. And I'm in a car. Oh. So yeah,
so you're putting yourself in great danger to do this ham radio. Oh,
well, also, so at 604 feet in elevation is what his application said. The air was a lot thinner up there.
You brought tanks, right? I'm assuming you brought oxygen tanks.
Fortunately, I was certified as a scuba diver when I was 12 years old with Patty. So I always keep a spare air in my trunk. I keep some Perrier in my trunk.
Perrier! This is the Spaceballs reference. Oh no! Oh no! Like,
President Scrooge.
Oh, no. Salute.
So we were a little lightheaded. We were a little lightheaded because of the elevation.
Oh man, that's killing. It's cracking me up.
But I'm looking around. I'm kind of excited. I'm like, all right, well, it's a high point. At least, like, you think it'd be high up. You could look around. You could see, around. No, I mean, you might as well be at sea level. It was, but it was a SOTA, and I got 10 contacts. I think Mike got 6 or 7. Mike K6 GTE POTA question: if I follow an activator to different bands, does that contact help the activator activate the park, or am I just annoying him? You are helping him. Different bands. You can only work a person once a Zulu day on one band, but multiple bands. So technically, if you wanted to, if Josh and I wanted to activate a park, so if I'm at a park and Josh is at home, technically I could activate that park if only Josh and I work each other on 10 different bands. That would still count because different bands.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So nobody else can work me. It's just Josh.
That's it.
So yes, you can do that. And so like here's a way to cheat. If you're just struggling and not making, maybe you have like 8 or 9 contacts on HF and you just can't get that 10th. If you got another ham with you, get on your HTs and get on 5.2, 146.52 or whatever and make a contact there. Still a simplex contact that counts.
That's it. Yep.
And if you need 2 more, hop on 70 centimeters on 446, make another contact with the same guy. Now you got 10 contacts.
Do you ever do the same thing with POTA as we do on SOTA? SOTA, it's a little bit easier when we're playing repeaters. So when we're on a summit, we'll just whip out our HTs and talk to the local repeater that has our buddies on it. And we'll say, hey, can you hop over to Simplex real quick? I want to get some more contacts for the SOTA log. Or if you're having a bad day, you just hop over to tell them all to go on, 146.520 and make your contacts there and just lock it down. Do you do the same thing?
I do not, but I have seen people do it, and why not go for it? There's no reason you shouldn't. That's just those contacts on the repeaters don't count. You have to understand. But yeah, you can go on a repeater and say, hey, I'm in this park and I need some more contacts. Can everybody jump on Simplex and try and get me? Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, that's really the same as spotting yourself on either the spotting page or Twitter or social media, whatever. So yeah, I don't see.
Oh yeah, it's well within the rules. I just was curious if other people do it. I know SOTA people do it from time to time because we'll end up going to some crazy mountain and then we'll be up there and we're like, I'm not really getting anything out here. I wonder if I can hit the repeater, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're good.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Super chat from BK Radio.
Snotty beamed me twice last night.
Snotty. That's right. That is Mel Brooks. Everything he does is amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Was there rumors he's making another Spaceballs? There is, right? He's working on another Spaceballs.
I've just heard that. VK Radio with the 15 Aussie bucks. Thanks for the content, guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the super chat. So in was it History of the World where he was talking about the next movie, Jews in Space?
I think so.
I feel that was like Spaceballs probably was that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, you didn't call it Jews in Space. I don't think that would go over very well.
I mean,
at
that
the
was
box office.
remember, the princess was Druish.
Right.
She was Druish.
Oh, that's all we need. A Druish princess.
A Druish princess. So good.
I mean, we could just sit here and do the whole movie if you want.
Oh, probably. Man, that is amazing.
Yes. Christiana, I currently live at 5,100 feet here in Klamath Falls. You guys are not tough. No, we're not.
Me? I grew up around snow, and my dad lives at 6,400 feet.
Yeah.
So I get out there. I know everybody thinks like California is like we're all just surfers, dog. Like, bruh. No, but we can go to weather anytime we want.
I've spent a lot of time in the mountains in North Carolina. I don't know what the elevation is there, but I've been to North Carolina many. My grandparents lived there, and my dad lived there in west of Asheville. And grandparents lived in Var. My dad lived in Fines Creek, which is like Waynesville-ish, if anybody knows that. And it's middle of nowhere. It's God's country out there. It's fantastic. There's Jerry Green. You laughed at my setup in my 1899 broke yesterday during an activation. No. I would almost give you mine, but I cannot give up this antenna. But it is, I mean, I was putting mine on the X5105, and I mean this is not rigid. Like, it's
BNC is already spring loaded, so it's kind of floppy.
Yeah, it's floppy. But I was walking outside yesterday with like trying to hear people because I was bored. My power. It's been so windy here. My power was out all day yesterday until about 7:30. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I'm like, well, I got on the radio, but I couldn't hear anyone with this. So that was short lived. But yeah, Spaceballs. Gotta love it. But yeah, I heard something about a Spaceballs too. I don't think they should do it. It's kind of like Anchorman was a great movie. Anchorman 2 really kind of sucked.
The fight scene in the alley was better in the second one, I thought.
I don't remember it.
It was so many more fighting anchors. It was like, oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
But that's more of the same thing, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a trope they built. They built it in the first movie, but I mean, they were straight up killing people. It was great.
Well, I mean, Brick did that in the first one.
Yeah, with the grenade.
The BNC pin broke. Yeah, you ain't getting that fixed, Jerry. MFJ doesn't make these. They don't. The only things that MFJ actually makes in-house, to my understanding, are like the tuners and things. The analyzers, anything that's in that metal, that typical MFJ kind of gray powder coated metal. I think those are the only things that MFJ actually makes
right
in Mississippi. Everything else is from even that little antenna analyzer that I love so much, the MFJ 223, Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. Yeah. I've seen other iterations of that analyzer. But Spaceballs 2, the search for more money, was referenced in Spaceballs.
Yes,
when Yogurt's saying, "Who knows? Maybe we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2, the search for more money."
And the "It's Good to Be King" quote was also from Yogurt in Spaceballs.
It's good to be king,
isn't it? Yeah, because when he kisses, I think so, isn't it?
I don't.
Don was saying that it's from the History of World Part 1, and I think it also is there, but I thought he got it into Spaceballs 2. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think that's in Spaceballs. I mean, I've watched that movie so many freaking times.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Pulp Fiction for me. Like I can do the whole thing, and Princess Bride. Those movies, I just go.
That for me is the Holy Grail. Monty Python.
What's that?
The Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is that movie for me.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I'm not a huge Monty Python fan.
Never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No, I might have. Like, my brother's big into Monty Python. My uncle Mike's big into him. Like when we're
That's a revelation.
around each other for holidays, they're always talking and quoting, and they sound funny. I watched. It might have been the Holy Grail, where the guy like chops off his arm and like getting through the gate, like trying
the
to
Black
pass
Knight
through whatever
on
one
the
that
bridge.
is, and he's finally like hopping with one leg, whatever one that was.
Yeah.
Was that the Holy
we'll
Grail?
call it a draw. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I fell asleep like halfway through.
No!
I was just
Oh
like,
no! Oh no!
Didn't do much for me.
Oh no!
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't do. I mean, I love British humor, but didn't do much for me.
Oh,
so.
It's so good. It's like their best movie they've done.
The
I know
bands
people
have
like
gone
Life
from
of Brian.
Suck to blow.
Mega Maid.
Well, no. Whiskey Echo 9 uniform is saying the bands have gone from suck to blow, which I suspect they probably have.
Yeah.
With this, I don't have a radio set up at home, so I don't know. But with the solar thing that's coming, if anyone's looking for a hobby more expensive than amateur radio, start collecting watches. Yeah, those can get up there. What are you doing, Satan? Satan's freaking out. He's being a butthead. Anywho, what were we talking about?
I don't know, but 45 Auto said, how many of you have seen Yellowbeard? I have. That is a crazy movie. Rutger Hauer is Yellowbeard in that. It is crazy. It's insane. I think it's Rutger Hauer, right?
I don't even know who that is.
Rutger Hauer played Roy Batty in Blade Runner.
Nope.
Rutger Hauer? You don't know who Rutger Hauer is?
Nope.
He's a really he's.
I saw the new Blade Runner, and that was really boring. And I
liked it.
Seen the original Blade Runner.
It's slow. I liked it. Did you like Dune though? Were you a Dune fan?
Just watched that last week.
Did you watch the previous one?
There was. I thought whatever the new one is out. I thought that was like chapter 1.
No, yeah, for this one, but there was a previous version of it back in the 80s or something.
Oh,
David
no.
Lynch made it.
But I'll tell you what, there was on my YouTube feed, there was like a video comparing the two. So I was going to watch that. But no, I haven't. I don't know anything about Dune. Nothing.
Oh, okay. So David Lynch's Dune is the full first book. And the one you watched is just the first half-ish of the first book.
Okay.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I didn't hate it. The sandworm things, I was like, okay, this is Tremors and this is Beetlejuice.
Yeah, all of that came from Dune. Yeah, I guess it's the other way though, because the book was out way before.
And it turns out, what's the name of the sandworm thing?
Shai Hulud.
That's a metal band. I was like,
well, where did that come from?
Well, yeah, they're saying Shai Hulud. I'm like, why do I know that name? I'm like,
Dune.
That's a freaking metal band.
Yeah, well, but I'll go on a limb and say that the book existed before.
Oh, for sure. So
okay.
I went on, I Wikipedia'd them, and I'm like, Shai Hulud. And they're like, yeah, it's a metal band that started in 1995, named after the Dune thing. And I was like, okay, because I listen to metal, so it's like, why does that sound familiar? But so whoever did the audio for Dune needs to be shot. It was the voices.
Okay.
Was so low.
Oh, and with the crippling audio difference. Yeah,
not even. It was just the monologues when people were talking, and it wasn't one of those movies where all the sound effects were like, "Holy crap, this is so loud."
Yeah, I hate that. I hate it.
It wasn't getting louder. It's just the voices, the people talking was so low. I had the volume absolutely cranked on the TV, and you barely hear it. I'm like, why? Like, do you not listen to this when you're editing it? It doesn't make sense. So
so for everybody that watched it and you're like, why did it end without explaining anything? It's because it's half of the book. Like all the cool shit, like everything that you watch is still cool, but like all
just
the
got
really
demonetized.
Cool stuff, sorry, all the cool stuff is like coming in the next one because it's amazing. Like all that stuff is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch the next one. It had me wanting. Like, I'm not sitting on the edge of my seat like, no, when's the next one? But I was like, yeah, it was pretty neat.
Well, I was watching it. I'm like, what? They just crashed. They just crashed the ornithopter. What? How far are we in? It's almost done. there's no way. What is going on? Plus, it was like characters that weren't introduced yet that I'm like, what's going to happen now? Like, it was.
But you've read the books too.
I read the books and watched the movie. Oh, well, David Lynch's Dune, I really loved that as a kid. Probably shouldn't have watched it as a kid, but really liked it. And the books, there's actually 6 books, and they are really deep. Like, it's a long series. Oh my gosh! October 2023. Okay, sorry.
Well, we gotta wait until next year for the last season of The Walking Dead. We had to wait 2 years for the last season of Game of Thrones. Like, that's just the world we're in. It's terrible.
Is the last season of The Walking Dead where it's subtitled "We finally introduce ham radio"?
No, they just stopped walking.
They just stopped.
No, they've had ham radio in it.
In the last couple of seasons, they have, but that is. Yeah. I will talk about that on my show tomorrow. By the way, of like if you introduce ham radio into The Walking Dead early on, all that stuff would have gotten a lot easier.
Yeah. Like they're using like police radios in the very beginning.
They use radios seldom.
Like, why are you guys not setting up repeaters and having Yaggies pointed to each other? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, because all of that, they could have solar. They could have. There's so many batteries in all of those cars that are out there. Like, when you're sending out the scouts, guys, you got to look up. Okay, look what's going on above the roofs of the houses. Are there these antennas like what's behind Josh's shoulder there?
Yeah, get the antenna. Go get that.
Look for those things. Look for solar panels and radios. You know. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean,
it's just a crazy, because I mean, everybody understands. I hope. I hope you've seen a couple episodes so you at least know, like, Hilltop is a place. The Kingdom is. I don't want to spoil anything, but and then Alexandria is a place.
Yeah.
Like, half of the tropes in that show is, well, we just got to put a bunch of people on a cart with horses and have them go there. It's like, well, why don't you just talk on the damn radio and
send the POTA Express through zombie infested?
Right. Like, we gotta send Daryl on a Harley with a crossbow to get our message through.
It's no like, muffler or anything.
Yeah, why don't you just talk on the radio? Like, why don't you just use the radio? It seems like a no-brainer. I don't know, but I guess that's just me. It seems like whatever.
Maybe
by the way,
maybe it was an EMP that caused zombie and all radios don't work.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
No,
but they use radios on it.
Yeah, they do.
No, it wasn't an EMP.
If you like a podcast, if you like a podcast on zombies that also features radio, it's called We're Alive.
Josh, you have to understand, for the rest of us who are fans of you, we can't listen to any more podcasts because we're listening to all 5 hours of yours. There's no time in our lives for any more podcasts. You don't listen to your podcast.
Mea culpa. I apologize for the length of my podcast. Leia, like, when we got done, Leia and I looked at each other and we're like, yeah, it was a good one. It didn't feel that long. And then I edited it. I'm like, that was 4.5 hours. Like, what just happened?
How
like,
much do you edit in those podcasts? Like, are you actually cutting things out? Are you cutting dead air, or what are you doing?
No, I never. So Leia and I, when we talk, we don't leave a lot of dead air to begin with. So that's like great. We never have a big problem with that. Very rarely do I have to clip anything out of a middle of the podcast. What'll happen is, sometimes we won't have something ready, like an audio clip or something like that, and I'll make a new track. And so the most I'm doing is like stitching tracks together. That's generally the editing I do. Yeah.
And I can't. I'm a little sad, but I'm a little relieved, because I've been catching up on your podcasts, and one of the emails said something about, I can't wait to hear what K8MRD is going to make, like a metal version of the final email. And then your final email came out.
Yeah, the final.
I can't top that.
And that was Nathan. Nathan did it. Nathan in Vermont killed it. And I'm like, man, how much?
Almost in key.
Yeah. Like, how much
off enough to make anyone who's musically inclined spine cringe?
I love it. Because it's like, how much audio processing did Nathan have to do on my voice to make that get anywhere close to the final countdown, which is fine. Yeah, good.
Yeah, And I was always thinking, like, how am I gonna edit it? But they just faded out because I'm like thinking, well, how long are you gonna do the do? And it just fades out. And I was like, oh, well, that's brilliant. Which is why I don't record music. I don't even know how to use my recording software. I've been screwing around with it a little bit. And I'm like, this is bad. So, like, I feel fairly confident in my video editing now.
Yeah.
But music, no.
I mean, do you use like what do they call that? A DAC, or is that a
DAW?
A DAW. That's
Digital
it.
Audio Works. Yeah, it's called GarageBand. So no, I don't have anything. But GarageBand is fine. I mean, I edit all my videos on iMovie. Like, it's
right.
Good enough.
Yeah.
But I have no experience. Not zero experience. I've recorded a couple things on GarageBand, but not like real multi-track kind of stuff and all that. Like what I would want to do. Because I want to do like a metal version of it. Because
that would be awesome.
Europe is not metal.
No.
Like tuned down, probably tuned down like at least a step and a half.
Yeah.
One, just because I can't sing that high in the actual key that the song is written. I'm not physically capable of hitting those high notes.
Well, it could be
and actually making it sound good though.
Yeah, I mean, but it could be anything that incorporates the final email, as long as that's in there. It could be however you want. It doesn't need to be.
It's got to be Europe. It has to be. It has to be the final countdown. I mean, that's how, even before I heard Leia saying, like, why isn't this like the final countdown? I was thinking to myself, like, this needs to be the final countdown. Like, why is it not? It's the final email. So that's what it has to be. So,
okay.
That's me.
I appreciate we're creating lore here. We're creating a rule set that we must follow.
It can't be anything else. I don't know. Maybe
the
it
only
can
thing
be
acceptable.
Maybe it can be.
No, I mean, Nathan's out there. He did. I mean, for any spoiler alert for anybody that didn't listen, he did a ham radio version of "Paint Your Wagon."
I'm not familiar with that.
It's a show tune. It's crazy.
Definitely not. Yes, Jeff, I know Leo from Leapfrogs from Frog Leap Studios. I don't know him, but yes, I have watched him. More of a Stevie T fan myself, but yes, Leo he does some really cool things. He did a nice metal version of the Toto "Rains Down in Africa" song.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, Leo, the Frog Leap Studios is actually really cool. Leo, the guy that does the big, huge goatee, like he's a metalhead, right? But he does all the recordings, all the drums and vocals and guitar. He's a phenomenal musician, and he does some really cool stuff. So yes, if you like metal, kind of like I don't watch him a lot, but he just kind of does his own take on other people's songs. He might do his own stuff. I don't know, but it's neat to watch every now and again. But I'm mostly watching ham radio videos or making them poorly.
It takes up a lot of time. It really does.
It does. That just that video that I edited with me and Kat, I had about just a touch over 2 hours of footage.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. POTA
on
videos.
your phone? On your phone?
Uh-huh.
Damn, son. Do you go?
Yeah.
How much time does it take to go through your phone and just delete all the crap that you like, the previous stuff that you've done?
Well, I don't do that very often, but it doesn't take long because you just hit select all and you just go and you can just drag it and delete it all. So it's not a big deal at all. But so a little over 2 hours of footage, and that took me probably about 6 hours to edit it all down.
Ooh, wow.
To the 16 minutes or whatever that it is. So yeah, because you do a first cut and then you do a second cut and a third, and because like it was after like the third cut, it was at like 18 minutes and 50 some odd seconds. It's like for audience retention for the YouTube algorithm, like it's just too long.
Yeah. I hear you.
You know, there was so much that I had to cut out. Just context that we made, banter between the two of us. Like that could have been a video in and of itself, just her and I just
I bet. Yeah.
Working off each other and breaking each other's balls. But you know, you have to. So it was like 16 and a half minutes or something like that.
Is there a thing in iMovie where you can hit like a button and add like a marker? Does iMovie do that?
Yeah, you just hit the M button.
Okay, so it's the same as Final Cut. So while I'm doing the first cut where I'm kind of like I just drag everything in and just start hacking away and doing the front and ends. Usually the front and ends, I snip the front and ends of clips. And while I'm going through, I'll hit M a bunch of times on stuff that I either need to add B-roll to or decide if I'm just going to omit it completely, that kind of stuff. Like I use that button a lot. That's like my go-to button when I'm editing.
Your videos are probably a lot easier to edit than mine, though. Well, yeah, because I don't use a lot of B-roll. Every now and again, I will, but or I'll just like overlay a picture over it or something like that. Usually it's just, I mean, here's my camera, and you just kind of have to go through it. Like review videos are different. Those are really easy to edit, because it's just, I mean, all I'm doing is clipping, like you said, the fronts and backs of each clip.
That's just the first cut. That's not cutting out dead air or anything like that.
Yeah, so I just go front to back and kind of do it that way. But I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing.
No, it's good. It was just good. It was a nice tight. It was a nice tight video. I think it covered it. It was great.
Yeah,
I liked it.
In general, I'm saying but all the POTA videos take hours and hours to edit. Sometimes not. Like if I'm in and out and I make like 15, 20 contacts just like that, those are pretty easy. But you know, if it's an hour or 2 hours worth of footage, it's a lot. It takes a whole lot of time to edit. But
yes,
yeah, review videos take more time to shoot than they do to edit for me. But I'm just using my one iPhone for my camera, and I've got to rearrange the tripod for every different shot and all that stuff. So
I can see that
because more time.
You spend, there's a lot of time you spend not shooting when you do a review video. Like that's actually the most time you spend is not actually shooting, and you're just working with the radio going like, what is going on here? What am I doing with this thing? You know, like, that's for sure. That's legit.
Like when I shot the video for the this thing here, this DMR radio, I spent so freaking long trying to figure out just how to program this by hand. I mean, hours.
Oh, so programming by hand is a nightmare.
Right. Well, this is, I mean, it's not once you get familiar with it, but I had to go back just recently. I had to go back and rewatch my video to remember how to do it. Because the instructions kind of suck. They're like, do this and this, but it's like, okay. And they're not in a logical order.
Right.
I mean, it might as well be a Yaesu menu. Sorry to throw shade at Yaesu menu.
Shots fired.
So that, I mean, I spent probably the better part of a day shooting the video for this, and it was probably like an 11 or 12 minute video at the end of the day. So
yeah, a lot of review. Oddly enough, the HTs are some of the easier videos to make, and once you start getting down to like the more advanced HF radios, oh my goodness, you can't even really make a video for like the 705. That is a radio that's impossible to make like one video on reviewing it. That is, and trying to include all the things it does.
You wouldn't be able to.
Insane. It's insane.
Because there's a channel called Ham Cured Smoke, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
And he did. I haven't seen any videos from him lately, but when the 7300 came out, he probably has, let's just say like 15 videos on the 7300, and each video was covering a specific topic. You know, like whatever. So that's kind of, and that was just the 7300, and the 7300 is pretty basic compared to the 705.
In some ways,
but he went, you know, like, and I watched every single one of those videos because this was like right around the time that I was getting the 7300. And what do you do when you're buying, when you're like jonesing for that next radio? You watch every single, at least I do, watch every single freaking video you can on that new radio. And before that, it was like guns or guitars or whatever for me. But now it's just radios.
Well, guns for me for sure. But I hear you.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's
do
difficult.
stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, that's what I ended up doing with the 705 a lot of time was just making the explaining one aspect of it, because it's like, well, shoot, that's like 13 minutes right there with all the editing and cuts and all that stuff. And then the overhead shots and camera angles that I do. It's like it adds up real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I still have this whole storyboarded thing that I actually drew pictures out for the 705 review that I got to get on, because I bought something specifically for the review that some people know that I have. And I think I mentioned what it is, but to do it. But it's like there's a lot to go into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Uh-oh.
And that
Mike Miles is already
coming out.
Yeah, Mike Miles is already calling me out for doing a great video. It's like, hey man,
it's gonna suck.
when I get it, we'll see how it goes.
Suck so bad.
Whenever it shows up, if it could be me. I don't know. I'm not saying anything.
It might be me.
It could be
probably
Mike.
Not. I probably will get it at some point, I would hope. I know that 2 people are getting a demo unit. I just don't know who those people. Well, we said who it was earlier, didn't we? I don't know. I might get one. I'm getting a bag from Radioddity, and I'm grateful for that because it looks like a cool bag. But I don't have 219,000 subscribers either. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, subscribe to KMRD Radio stuff.
Please.
And I guess subscribe to Ham Radio Crash Course too, because
that would be acceptable as well.
He is kind of one of the reasons that I'm licensed as well. This guy Josh here.
Well, I'm glad.
He wore some really weird hats and some really weird glasses around the time that I was getting licensed.
That's right. That's right.
Those videos of you standing on the side of the freeway with the sign, the signs behind you, like the generator signs that they have.
The
Bofangs and the emergency prepared videos that you had with your wife and you were like passed out in a football field or something like that. Well, watch all of them.
Yeah, that goes way back, man.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
oh yeah. That was right around when I got the UV5R, and I'm like, okay, so I'm watching your videos on the UV5Rs. I'm watching Eric's videos I'm watching all the Bofang videos. But those videos struck a chord with me because that's why I got an amateur radio, was because of, and I've said this plenty of times, but like because of like the prepper mentality, the what if the grid goes down kind of thing.
Right.
Comms, like, and it came from my love for guns and shooting and stuff like that. And it's just another aspect of preparedness. So I was like, well, shoot, for $25, I'll buy a Bofang. And then I'm like, well, these things actually could be quite useful. So
yeah, I mean, anyway. That's the gateway drug, right? And then the hope is that like there's something along the trail that you get wind of, and you're like, oh, this sounds interesting, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, and then all of a sudden you're a general, and then you're on HF, and then that's when the whole world opens up, and then you really can get to play. I think that's always my like benchmark. Is my goal is to try and get people to the general. Once they get there, it's like now it's on. Then I don't have to keep like pushing anymore. It's like
hopefully it'll be easier in kind of starting now and in the next couple years. And you and I have talked about this, and I think you mentioned this on your podcast when we were talking about how it's so silly that the mobile radios don't have 2 meter sideband for the techs who have 10 meters and 6 meters, but they only have the sideband portion of 10 meters. Like, well, what tech is going to go out and buy even spend $430 for a G90 that has 10 meter sideband? But hopefully that could be encouraging even to technicians to get their hands on a radio that they can do 10 meters and 6 meters sideband. Mearson, I think that's how you pronounce it. The bag that I'm talking about is from Radioddity. It's a new waterproof backpack that they have that they're sending. I might actually get it tomorrow. It's shipping out of Dallas. So
I believe if you bought the 6100 with this pre-sale, that you get that bag for free. I believe that's part of their little pack-in deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that bag looks pretty cool, actually.
I mean, it should be a really interesting radio with that big screen, and then again that confluence of the X5105 and the G90. I'm really interested to see how it performs.
The G-Sock, you mean?
No, not the G-Sock.
Well, it looks like they took.
Yes,
it's like a hybrid of the X5105.
Yes.
And it's like they took this and smushed it into the G-Sock, which is what they should have done in the first place. And made the best of both worlds. I don't have too many positive things to say about the G90. I own one. I like it, but it's like, I mean, it's a bare bones radio.
It is, but it works better than the X5105, I feel.
See, I like the X5105 better.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I guess I ran into too many problems with the overheating and stuff when I was using it in the field.
Yeah, see, I've not experienced any of that.
But
I've had zero problems with my X51. I've had zero problems with either of them. But
summertime, direct sunlight on a summit will show the weak aspects of some radios.
To be fair, I have not taken the X5105 out since I've lived in Texas. So, and it's not hell's front porch anymore here. It's I think our high today was 73. So maybe in the summer I'll take this out again. But I mean, I've taken it out in the summer in Michigan. I mean, it's still mid 80s. Sometimes it gets into the 90s there sometimes. So, but not LA. Not LA.
But it'll heat. It'll get, well, I mean, particularly at elevation when you're like at 6,400 feet and you're direct sunlight beaming on it.
Yeah.
You're good for like an hour, and then you're kind of like, even then it starts behaving really weird and it gets really hot. You kind of have to like, I'm gonna go put it down and put it in the shade for a little bit, and we'll come back to it. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I don't experience that. But anyway, we've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes now. We still got 100 people watching, though. Jeez. Must be a boring Friday night.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody's
carving pumpkins as they're watching us right now. No, just check out the live stream tomorrow. We'll be doing some fun stuff. I'm going to be talking about how most horror movies, or you can probably think of them in your head. Most horror movies would be 30-minute episodes of a made-for-TV movie if they just included ham radio. So we'll talk about that in the beginning. I don't have a ton of examples, but I'm going to go through that.
Wait,
and then
say
we're
that
gonna
again. Most horror movies would be 30 minutes if they had ham radio.
Yeah. So think of most horror movies.
Okay,
and if you think of most horror movies, and if the characters just incorporated ham radio, it wouldn't be a 10-hour or 2-hour affair. It'd be 30 minutes, and then we all go have a beer afterwards after we found and killed.
Call for help.
Well, call for help, or we found where the murderer was, and we were able to coordinate the location and not get entangled with them, and save the day. So that's...
You're probably talking about more like demonic ham movies, or are you talking any horror movie in general? Because that would make I was watching the movie Wrong Turn. And,
think of every movie that involves I can't get a call on my cell phone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Two,
so like House of a Thousand Corpses, Wrong Turn, all those kinds of things.
Right. Grid is down because of an apocalyptic scenario. Ham radio. Okay. 3, we have a killer hellbent on killing everybody, and we're going to send out all these individuals with no communication capability or no ability to know where they're at any moment. And they're just going to get swept up by the killer, right? And also super high-tech alien races that come to Earth to take over. Ham radio seems to do pretty well in those situations, at least as far as the movies are concerned.
What's that really bad movie with Charlie Sheen where he's a radio astronomer? You know what I'm talking about? You got it, dude. It's actually like I'll watch it because it's one of those bad movies. Yes,
what?
Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Hang on. I got it.
Somebody's gonna invasion. Somebody's saying invasion in the chat.
Hang on. There is radios.
Somebody said men at work. That's hilarious.
No.
What is the movie? Everybody in chat.
The Arrival.
The Arrival.
Is that
Hot Shots? No.
Sure. No, it's not Hot Shots. It's not Hot Shots Part 2 either. Yes. The Arrival, 1996 science fiction horror film. Sheen stars as radio astronomer Zane Zeminski, who discovers evidence of intelligent alien life and quickly gets thrown into the middle of a conspiracy that turns his life upside down. And boy, I'll tell you what, is there a plot twist at the end?
It was the aliens the whole time.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
But go check that movie out.
Is it good? You said bad.
No, it's
though.
terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
like,
you're saying it's perfect for me. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
yes,
So yeah,
it would be. It's better than that crappy Nicolas Cage movie.
No, Mandy. Mandy is the best.
Is so bad.
It's so good.
It's not as good as The Wraith. If you're familiar with that, that's a Charlie Sheen movie.
No, I haven't seen that.
The Wraith. Yeah, that's
I haven't.
another bad movie.
You got apparently a deep catalog of Charlie Sheen movies that you can.
It's coming out right now.
I guess so.
The steel trap here. But no, The Wraith.
Mandy,
so the Wraith is Charlie Sheen like gets killed as a kid. It's like he's a teenager, and he comes back as this ghost car race. He's in like this car racing circuit with all these nerds, right? Don't ask. Okay. And so he comes back as this ghost and gets revenge on all the guys that killed him, and he like kills him with his car. It's bad, but it's The Wraith.
I've never seen this.
But the Arrival.
Did this come out before or after Christine? Is this in the Christine genre? Like it was
Wraith
one of those...
The Wraith is early to mid 80s, I would guess.
So it's after Christine, I would.
The Wraith is 1986.
When did Christine come out?
Well, Christine was a book, though. Christine came out in 83, the movie. The book probably came out.
Well, that's, I mean, Charlie Sheen is sometimes in movies that are writers on from another
Charlie
movie
Sheen
that got popular.
stars in both of these movies.
Wait,
in the
Charlie
Arrival.
Sheen is in Christine?
No, The Arrival and The Wraith.
I'm like, what?
Yes. But yeah, so The Arrival is another movie where it's radio related. I mean, it's bad. It's not a good movie.
Okay.
It is a B movie. It's like
good. I'll see if I can watch it. I'll while I'm cutting my pumpkin up, because I gotta have a pumpkin on my live stream that's radio related.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, so I'm gonna when we hop out of here, I'm gonna go get to work on that, and I got to clean up. Literally, I've been nonstop, like, just again, what goes into a video review? It's all this, like all this stuff that's going on right here. So that's what I'll be doing tonight when I wrap up with Mike here and make a pumpkin and get ready for tomorrow. I do have a smoke machine, so I'll just pro tip.
Ooh.
So little spoiler alert, I'll have a smoke machine for tomorrow's live stream, but I'm gonna hack it a bit. I'm gonna hack it, and so that it's not gonna just blast smoke all over everything. And my green screen's gonna flip out.
Well, don't you have the button?
No, it's I'm gonna make something that will make the smoke do a cool thing. So tune in to see what I do.
Yeah, have a laser light show and it'd be like a Pink Floyd concert.
Yeah, I've got pyrotechnics in the shack. Yes, nice. Of course. That we're gonna have pyrotechnics this time. Yes, for sure. Could you imagine? It's just like it's literally just a desk. Like that's my space. I've got a good space, but I'm just blowing shit up. Oh, that's half my radios right there.
Get some laser pens out and some magic smoke, and
that's it. Oh my god. And then just huge amounts of black powder. That's I'm just blowing it up.
Yeah. That's it's not explosive if it's just on the ground. It's just gonna burn.
Right.
So
right. Yes.
You gotta have a compression in there. So
that's right. Eric AK6Y says, Josh, do you have enough time? I don't. Could you lend me some? Do you have some I could borrow? Could I borrow some of your time? Could you send it to me? SSTV or fax? I accept fax of time.
Yeah.
SSTV with time. You can give me FT8s with time as well. I'll appreciate that. Thank you.
You could just do the old ticker.
What's that?
The old CW ticker. Coming out of the.
There you go. The ticker tape. Thing. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, speaking of time, it's way past my bedtime. It's almost midnight. Yeah, it is. So, Josh, thanks for coming on, buddy. Always a privilege to have you. And happy Halloween. We'll be looking forward to the stream tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's about all I got. So 73, y'all. Thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks for all the super chats and the support and the love. And David Davenport, KY4GM. Enjoy the content as always. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We enjoy having you here. And Cascadia, sorry, but we have to go at some point. We're not just monkeys here to dance for y'all. That's Hayden's job.
Like a clown. Like we're here to make you laugh.
Job. Yeah. All right, everyone. 73. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.
See ya.